Yeah, yeah. I feel like Big Vito. Yeah, I feel like Big Vito. Yeah, feel like Big Vito. Yeah. I said I'm up next.
How you doing, people? This is Big Vito LoGrassos coming to you live, baby, live with Poolside, with the great Noel Harlow sitting next to me by my side, my partner in crime, my partner in life, my partner in everything.
And Mrs. LoGrasso, if you're nasty.
No, we didn't ask that. That's okay.
Oh,
All right. All right, guys. Listen, I know everything has been happening. We got a lot of things, good things going on, and it's our Poolside Chat. Now, I'd like to cover a few things tonight, and just a recap in the weekend. Like, I know things have been getting kind of hectic and crazy, and everybody's got a lot of things going on, enjoying the last of the summer. People, shaking and baking, going to Rehoboth Beach, going to the parks, going to water rides, going to poolside, and doing everything to make themselves happy. I'd like to start off today's chat with something that happened today, and I'd like to make it a happy thing. Now, everybody knows Jim the Anvil Neidhart, great wrestler, part of Hart Foundation. Something that he accomplished back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, mostly the 90s during the Attitude Era, and probably the late 80s. He passed away today. And he did have some things going on with his life. But I want to talk about the great things, and I want to talk about the happy things. Like Jim Neidhart, he was a funny, intense guy.
Really funny.
He was funny.
Yeah.
And he just had a way about him. He had a certain persona that, like, if you didn't catch it right, you thought he was being an ass, but he really wasn't. He was just being himself. And I had met the whole Hart Foundation back in 1991 during my first TV taping at the WWF. And I got to tell you, it was a great thing for me because I worked from the bottom to the top. It was my first year. And here I am with Owen, Brett, Davey Boy, and Jim Neidhart. You talk about a dynasty, you talk about Stu Hart, the Dungeon, you talk about wrestling history, you talk about the greatness of that group.
Do you know that Bret Hart said that the Anvil was actually the last one trained by Stu Hart, completely by Stu Hart? He's the absolute last one.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He came to him while he was training for football.
And people, when you talk about being trained, the last guy really trained, yours truly was the last guy really trained by Hall of Famer Johnny Rodz. And I take a lot of pride in that because Johnny saw something in me, and I'm sure Stu saw something in Jim Neidhart that it makes them, put their tights back on, lace up their boots, and say, okay, we're going to teach this kid something. And we're going to get in there and we're going to ride him. And Jim Neidhart, for his intensity and his unique way of wrestling and doing promos, along with being with Brett, I think they were a great tag team. I think they complemented each other real well. I think that with Davey Boy and Owen, there's so many things now that you say that you could have did with them, and if they were here today in this era, I think they'd be untouched. They'd be bigger than the Shield is. They'd be bigger than life, bigger than the NWO. That's how great they were together. And I believe that you had another gentleman in there like Brian Pillman that really added a wild sidekick side, like, take a shot of tequila, shot of Red Bull with a kick. Something like Mad Dog, like really something good.
He was the loose cannon, that
Brian. He was the loose cannon. He was definitely the loose cannon. So, and when you talk about, the greats in the business, now I have the privilege of wrestling with each one of these gentlemen. Each one of these gentlemen also helped me along the way and also took the time to teach me things. And I'm most appreciative, and I'll always, a thank you to those guys, because those are the guys who paved the way for me to do my thing. And without that knowledge and without them accepting me for, back then, Skull Von Crush, I probably wouldn't have made it in the wrestling business. And a huge thank you to Jim Neidhart. Now, when you talk about the greats, you talk about, you know, his daughter Natalie, who I'm friends with. I don't have to speak to her every day, but just every now and then, hey, how you doing? And we can sit there and talk about wrestling, life, and everything. Just like we seen each other every day. TJ Wilson, her husband, always acknowledge on Facebook. We always send each other happy birthdays and everything. I think the greatest thing that ever happened was when Brett got inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I was at the Hall of Fame dinner, and I met Harry Smith for the first time. And Harry, Teddy Hart, TJ Wilson, Natalie, and Brett was there with a couple of his relatives. And they all came up to me at the same time, and they said, "You realize you are the only guy who has wrestled everybody in our family. One of the few." And I took that as a privilege. And, the privilege was all mine because wrestling the greats at that time, and you don't realize until years later, it really had an impact on my life. And then today, here we are sitting here looking at, who passed away, and, 3 of the 4 are not here. But I said this is going to be a happy thing, and I just want to say thank you to all those guys, every single one of them, and I know they're all listening, for taking the time to teach me, be a friend to me, be a mentor to me, and I would like to say I hope you have some peace and well-being. So let's get off this subject and let's go on to something else.
Well, let's stay into the same realm. That's a funny story. Do you remember, for those of you who are in the Tampa area, all the WWE wrestlers that aren't on the pay-per-views go to the Wing House.
Right.
And you and I went over to the Wing House for the pay-per-view like we usually did, and Harry Smith was there. TJ might have been there too.
Yep.
And we're sitting down at the table, and there was a bunch of us sitting there. Vito gets up and excuses himself, and Harry watches him leave, and he turns to me and he goes, "Are all those stories about Vito and Nunzio true?" And I started laughing. And he goes, "They are, aren't they?" And I said, "Absolutely, 100% every story is true." So to kind of parlay this into the conversation, can you please tell a Nunzio and Vito story?
Nunzio, Vito, in front of the Spectrum, we're traveling with buddies, with pals, with, brothers. And Nunzio, I had a habit of leaving the freaking rent-a-car all dirty and everything. So it was like, we're leaving and getting ready to leave. And me and Nunzio get into it a little bit. And we're in front of the Spectrum and ready to get home. And he goes, "You know what, Vito? I'm tired of you. I'm going to kick your ass." I stopped this truck in the middle of the road in front of the Spectrum. "Vito, what are you doing?" "I'm going to kick the living shit out of you, Nunzio." "Vito, you're like a brother to me. What are you doing?" "Vito, you're choking me. We're going to lose our jobs."
And the fans were watching you because
fans
you
were watching this
right on the street in front of
on the street, and I didn't give a shit. I said, "Okay, Nuns, let's go."
And you did beat him.
I did beat him. And then we're driving a little bit. He goes, "Vito, I love you like a brother, but you're crazy." I said, "I know I'm crazy. Just shut up and let's go home."
There's 1,000,001 Nunzio stories with Vito. And Vito does a Nunzio impression. And when you ask Nunzio to tell the story, Nunzio does a Vito impression.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
All fun, all good times.
Now, there's another thing that happened this week that really, let's make a positive out of it, okay?
It's a hard week to be making positive.
No, I'm going to make a positive out of it because this is a podcast where we try to shed things, and we don't want to sit here and be the doldrums. We want to sit here and spread the goodness. Now, another wrestler passed away. His name was Brian Christopher, a friend of mine. And you talk about a kid who had charisma, had a good body, good look, had it all. And he fought some demons. And, for the past 12 years, he had some problems. And I happened to be good buddies with his best friend, Del Rios. And the night that he passed away, I had called Del directly and I said, "Vito, I was just about to call you." And we started talking. I said, "Well, when everything is over with," because there was false publication on the networks on the dirt sheets and everybody proclaiming something that wasn't true. And I had this straight stuff and everything going through. And I said to him, I said, please let me know when everything is finished, so I could be, at peace with things. And he called me, he said it was done, and his mother and father were by his side. I'm so happy for that. And then the ongoing investigation that's happening today, and Jerry Lawler, his father, is going to get to the bottom of what really happened, because there's some misconstrued stories that are going around, and it doesn't seem like Brian committed suicide. I will say this: Brian was full of life. Brian was a good kid. He was a lot of fun. We always had a great time. Great stories I could say about Brian, but he had a heart of gold, a good kid, and I'm sorry to see him pass. I wish he was around, and a lot of people need to know something. Maybe you need to say, "Hey, how you doing?" more often than wait till somebody passes. And Reggie B. Fine, my boy from Memphis, made a great statement. Why give somebody a flower when they pass away when I give it to them while they're alive? Makes a lot of sense. So to all the people out there who I don't get to see, let's give you a flower. And hey, I love you all. I know I don't get the chance to talk to everybody out there, but I just want to say, hey, I'm always thinking about everybody. I know sometimes I get tied up because I'm taking care of things here at the homeland, but doesn't mean I forget about anybody. So to everybody out there, I love you to death. Pass a flower to you. And what else you got to talk about?
Well, I have some interesting topics to talk about while we're poolside here. We're going to switch up a little bit, get a little brighter.
Okay.
Okay. A little less wrestling, a little more viral and trending. So the top trending story right now as we're recording is 6-year-old girl named Caitlin ordered $350 worth of toys from her mom's Amazon account.
Right.
So Caitlin, at the tender age of 6, is an absolute total scammer. This isn't something she did by accident. This kid set this up at 6 years old. Her mom allowed her to order a Barbie on Amazon. It was a big deal for her to order online like mommy. So she orders a Barbie. Later on, she asks her mom if she can check Amazon to see when the gift's arriving, because it gives you locations.
Right.
After her mom let her check that, the next day, Amazon delivered to their home $350 worth of toys, video games, and board games. This 6-year-old knew exactly what to do. She had everything set up on one click, next day delivery, so everything would show up the same time as the Barbie. She got $350 worth of toys sent to their home, and the mom took a picture, which I'm showing Vito right now. The box is bigger than the 6-year-old kid. So, with that being said, and she's super proud of herself, like she thinks she did the hustle of a lifetime. So what do you say if your 6-year-old goes and totally scams you and buys $350 worth of toys on Amazon?
You know what you say? I'm sending all this shit back.
You make her send it all back?
Every single thing.
With that little face, though, Viti.
Yeah, I don't care. Go in your room. I don't want to see you for a month.
I would let Morty order $350 of toys.
I
My
wouldn't. I don't
nephew
even like
would.
that kid.
You love him. He does your little face thing. He thinks he's a YouTuber now. Like, he's kind of a big deal. People know him. He's famous.
His mom thinks she's gangster. She ain't no gangster. She's so white bread, it's pathetic.
Let me ask you. No, she's not white bread. We grew up downstream from projects. Anyway.
You know.
Let me ask you. Since you are so about thug life, and since I have presented you with this lifestyle of thug life, because I'm the one that does the hip hop and the hats and all that stuff, what is your take on Big Vito brand of thug life? I mean, you got shirts out with thug life, your website says thug life. What is your idea of thug life?
I'm pimping hoes at the pool. You know, I'm getting numbers.
I will knock you out, be honest.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm thug lifing, all right, girl?
I don't even
try
know
to cramp my style. I still got my black book, and it's filled with numbers. I'm telling you, it's still got numbers in there, okay?
I don't understand even what you're saying. Number
right,
one, who has a black book if you have a cell phone?
I got a black book,
What is this,
girl.
1982?
That's because us pimps, we keep everything on the DL, all right?
So
You're never going to find it.
Now you're a pimp.
That's right, I'm a pimp. All
I
right,
see.
gangster.
I see. I see now.
Holla, y'all, holla.
No, I'm not feeling it.
Baby, you're looking like J-Lo.
I'm not.
Did you
feeling
go
it.
on a diet? Yeah, I lost 5 pounds. No, baby, you look like you lost 7 or 8. You're looking good.
Guys, just in case you are a gentleman who happens to be listening to this podcast,
Use these lines.
These bullshit lines don't work on real women such as myself. So if you want a real woman, like a woman, not like a girl or like a jabroni, if you want a real woman like myself, you're not going to be falling for
Guys.
this. You're looking like a 60-year-old J-Lo.
Guys,
Like,
guys,
that's not working
guys,
for you.
It worked on this woman right here.
No, I took pity.
No, you didn't take no pity.
I said, oh, look how cute. Look how cute.
Yeah, I know. And then what happened?
What the hell is that? What did I? You have to give me the Heimlich
And what
maneuver?
happened on the first night, baby?
You want it?
You want to go live right now?
We're not live. It's taped, and I can edit it.
I'm sure you can. So people, you know what happened on the DL.
Apparently, I needed the Heimlich maneuver. That's what happened on the
Exactly. Okay. What's the next subject we got going on?
So I'm trying to think of what a good subject would be. The next subject. You just recently have discovered Disney World because you were never a cartoon person. Am I correct? And you were never like a Disney, even though you lived in Florida, you lived on the other side. So you never were. I took you once, but you were never like. But now you're discovering.
I went other times, because I was, with other,
He didn't.
No, I'm gonna say it in thug life. I was with other hoes. You know what I mean? They took me over to Disney and shit.
This podcast has taken a turn.
All right, good.
Okay. So listen, seriously. How are you enjoying your new Disney lifestyle? Because everybody keeps saying, oh, you guys are Disney all the time. And quite honestly, we actually are. Because we have passes, so we go all the time. So honestly, like, are you finding Disney makes you happier? Like other people say Disney has changed their lives and made them happier. Do you find that?
I would say that, Magic Kingdom is a little overwhelming. You can't get the real feel for it. You see it and you're looking, wow, and there's too many people and too many things.
And that's my favorite part.
That's your favorite part. But then you go to Epcot, and then there's like 4 miles of walking just to go around. The beers are $9. The pretzels are $17. It makes you think, I got to eat in this mofo, and you got to have a bag of peanuts for $5. So it's like you're not really.
I've never even seen peanuts. So.
Exactly. But the place that I really enjoyed recently was Hollywood Studios, and I will say ESPN Studios was kind of intriguing to me. I'm not going to say why, but let me tell you something. If you ever want to watch events and watch sports all day, ESPN is the place to go, and it was a great thing for me. I will say that Hollywood Studios, you were able to appreciate what was in the park, look at the Frozen show, look at the things that were there, because it wasn't as crowded. It wasn't as congested, and you're able to appreciate everything full magnitude. Plus, they had a killer brisket thing there that was killer, and when I get a chance to order it, it's all good.
Woody's Lunchbox is the new restaurant that we went to. Vito had the brisket sandwich. I had the tater tot nachos. We tried the adult lemonade. And it was good. It's difficult to get in there during the day, but we did do an after hours party. Right. So we were able to go after hours. We did take a video. If you look on youtube.com/thebigvito brand, there is a video of us. You get to see some of the fireworks. We rode the Slinky Dog coaster. We rode the alien saucers, and we did eat at the park. The food was exceptionally good. Disney's really picked up on their food like a lot. When I was a kid, Disney food was definitely like raunchy carnival park food. Now it's like really high, like class, high. Like it's worth the money you put out for the food. It's like
it was
elite
good,
dining.
It definitely was. And if you get a chance to go to Hollywood Studios, I would definitely recommend it.
And you haven't even seen most of that park. You only get to see a portion.
That's why we're going to go back and we're going to go see some more. So I definitely recommend it for those who don't like the congested parks. Go to Hollywood Studios, ride the roller coaster, ride that other ride.
They have some good shows there. They have that you haven't seen yet. The Little Mermaid and the Beauty and the Beast are two, and I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast. So we haven't seen those.
Definitely some good shows there. I definitely recommend
it. There's the Aerosmith coaster, Twilight Zone.
Go check it out.
It's very good. So do you say that this new Disney lifestyle that you're embracing has made you happier?
It's definitely given me something to do. It's definitely something different, and not everybody gets to live this kind of life, so I'm happy with it, and it's well accepted. We're at the 20-minute mark. Noel?
Yeah, I want to discuss one more thing with you since we're talking about Disney.
Oh, God.
They have been off the hook with debuting new treats and cupcakes over this past several weeks of the summer. So it's pretty cool because this being my birthday week, Wednesday is my 29th birthday again. So they are debuting this week a mermaid tail cupcake at the Starbucks in Magic Kingdom. And it's a cupcake that has a sugar cookie out of the top. It's actually like a donut too that they're making as well. So you can either get the mermaid donut or the mermaid cupcake over at Starbucks. We are definitely going to have to try that. It's over by the Little Mermaid ride, which you still haven't rode yet. So I have to take you on that.
So I think that's something we're going to do. We're going to taste the cupcakes. We're going to have a great time. We're going to enjoy Noel's birthday. I think everybody's going to love it.
I'm excited for it. I have a whole special outfit ready to go.
I think everything's going to be good this week, guys. And I think we are going to say, we're going to call this a wrap. I want to thank you for listening tonight. I want to thank you for everybody participating. We got a lot of good things happening. Noel, can you do the final curtain call and get all our plugs in? I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You can catch Big Vito podcasts on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Breaker, CastBox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course our good friends at Anchor FM that distribute for us. Thank you very much. You can check out our videos and our special shows on youtube.com/The Big Vito brand. Also, BigVito.com is updated every 24 hours with brand new videos and our latest podcasts. You can purchase merchandise from us if you go to BigVito.com on the merchandise page, or if you'd like to head over to Spreadshirt.com/The Big Vito brand. You'll be able to purchase all your favorite Big Vito brand merchandise. Check out HarlowInc.com as well. We are excited to be presenting you Wednesday with a brand new episode of Thug Wives starting at 9 p.m. Our topic will be very bad hair choices. Very bad hair choices. So that will be the topic. We will have South Filling and Foxy with us tomorrow night. We will come to you with Spilling the Reality. We have a very special visitor with us tomorrow night, Winezilla from Bridezilla on the We channel. I'll be sharing the link with that on Twitter. Is there anything else that we need to add, Vito?
No, I think everything is good. We got a lot of good things coming. Make sure you guys catch me on Getting Color with Vince Russo on the Bell Network. It's another great show, and we cover wrestling topics and real life. Before you close out the show, everybody have a great time and good night.
This show has been produced by the Big Vito brand. You can check out other Big Vito brand podcasts on BigVito.com.